Page 150, second column, Eis Gimel. Okay, again, look at the Torah Parshas Pinchas, page 150, Eis Gimel. The Rabbi is explaining the advantage of this world over Olam Haba, because this world is Seviv Kol Alman, therefore you could do tshuva and you could change everything and everything is fine. And therefore it's a much greater revelation than Gan Eden. So he says, but the question is, he says, through the various different things of Iskafia, what happens is you reveal Seviv Kol Alman, the infinite level in permeating level. So he says, how is that possible? The less machshava tfisi, that normally that's a level of a kusta no mind can grasp. V'lami call Eden midas, and there's not at all in the realm of our midas. He says, what accomplishes the revelation of Seviv into Mamala in the person and the nefesh is karbonis. It's my bread for my fire, meaning Kine carbon shul michai. Okay, there's four elements, yes, and there's inanimate, plant, animal, and human. Each one of the four elements correspond with either inanimate, plant, animal, and human. So he says a carbon comes from chai, which is Yeseido Eish, element of fire. Kidale bechinas demonstrate chai medaber, because the four elements, the four creations of inanimate, plant, animal, and human is corresponding with the Daled Yesedus. Afar, the element of earth is Daimim. Mayim is Semeach, Shemayim Atzmichim. Okay? Mayim is Semeach, because water makes everything grow. Like it says, Zayra Kol Mayim. Ve'esh Bechinas HaChai. Eish, fire, is the level of Chai, of animals. Ki Misharsev Eish Loyheit, because the Malachim burn with this fire of Arya and Pnei Shoshib Mekava. Uksiv Marem Kagach Leish Bears Kamar Elapidim. The fire is like a burning fire, like the flame of the vision of a massive flame. Umehem Mishtaushib Mishachos Kundafishos Kobalechai. In other words, it says like this. Afar, earth is inanimate. Okay? That's the level of Daimim. Then you have water, makes everything grow. Samayim is Sameach. Chai refers to the element of fire because the malachim are these fiery, Rash Godel, they're all of these fiery Aveda. Now, it says in Chassidus in Kabbalah that from the axe of the Merkava comes all the beasts of the world. The domestic animals of the world. From the lion of the Merkava comes all the chayas. From the nesher of the Merkava comes all birds. So all living things basically come from the malachim. So therefore the malachim at the level of eish, fire. So therefore that's the element of fire, which is chai.
Besides the Yeshaya, anybody else has seen that?
Who?
Only Yeshaya saw it.
Yecheskel saw it, Yeshaya saw it, I didn't see it.
So there is not one person that saw it.
Tzaddikim see it. But you got to be one to know it. I just know they see it. That's all I know.
And so human beings are wind?
1 minute. V'ruach adam medaber. And air is the person that's called medaber. How do you speak with a lot of hot air? That's ruach. When it says in the Chumash that a person became alive, Targum Onkelos says, l'ruach memalela, means a spirit that talks. He says, so therefore, what is a carbon? A carbon has all aspects to it, by the way. A carbon has inanimate, plant, animal, and human. And he says like this. The element of fire, that when you bring a carbon, you burn the animal, becomes one with the fire from above. In other words, fire down here becomes one with the fire above. So you bring a carbon, you burn it, it becomes one, it becomes united with the fire above. It comes from higher to lower on the Mizbeach, to consume and to burn the carbon. The same thing now that we have davening, so korbanos is the level of fire, right? And it becomes one with the fire of above. Now we don't have a Beis Hamikdash, we don't have korbanos, so now we have davening instead. What is davening? What do we do in davening? We mention all about the malachim. From Baruch Hu until Krishma is all about the malachim. And they say with fear. Why do we do it? Why do we talk about the angels? So Chassidus explains, Rabbi explains in many places, that it says in Kabbalah the source of the Nefesh Habamis, Behema, comes from the Shmoreh Oifanim, comes from the animals up on the throne. Now, shmari means the sediment. When you have oil or wine, you have junk at the bottom, that's the sediment. From the junk of the malachim comes the nefesh habamis. So again, why is davening corresponding with the korban? Because the whole concept of davening, like it says, to inflame the nefesh habamis, that it should want to be closer to Hashem. So that's why we talk about the malachim. We say to the nefesh habamis, you idiot, your own source, i.e. the Nefesh Habamis itself is screaming Kaddish and Baruch. So what's your problem? Top of Ayin Vav. But Hashem say to Eishel Matis Shesh by Slavas, Status Chuk Murgesh by Lamazeh, which has this feeling of love, of the burning sensation to Hashem. To break evil, transform evil, Liyasatshuka to the level of Ishech Chukosech. Ishech means your husband, right after Chatitarat. But Ishech Chukosech means after your Eish, your fire. You should have this longing. You know, we, the women, the wives of Hashem, we should have this burning sensation to the fire of above. That's what it says. Karbani lachmi liishai. Eishai is Eish Yud, which is a level of Eish. Sheyedid mumayla mechina sevim kol almin. The fire that comes down from above. Lahalis yisedo Eish benafshi abamis. To illuminate and to elevate and to ignite. The fire of the nefesh abamis, which is Isha, Eish Hey, ukmeisha kosel smeilu tachas reish mechina smel v'dish bi Eish l'mayla. That this burning fire, ho magbio mayla mimata l'mayla, elevates the level from down here all the way up. In other words, what's the concept of davening? Just like the concept of korbanos. What were korbanos? You take the fire, the animal which comes in the element of fire, and you put it into the fire of the Mizbeach, which was the fire that came down from above. Like we learned, there was a fire that came down. The Gemara says in Yuma, a coal came down from heaven, there's a Shlomo Melech. It was crouched like a lion on the Mizbeach. And then you had to bring your own fire. So what was the Aved of Korbanos? Taking the animal and putting it into its source, the animal from above. What's davening? Taking the Nefesh Habamis, our Nefesh Habamis, the animal within us, and being makriv of it to the fire of Hashem. So skip the 3 lines. Nimshach, but how do you get this fire of above to come down? That's through lachmi, by the Jews being the bread of Hashem. What does it mean, the bread of Hashem? Like it says in the Gemara, the expression, She Yisrael mefanis and lavim shebeshamayim. Yidden is a very interesting statement. The Gemara says the statement, Yidden give parnasa, livelihood to Hashem. What? Yeah, but how? What do you mean we give Hashem parnasa? Hashem needs us for making a living. I mean, so it says, "Ukmei alech," just like bread. Sha'al of yechia adam, that a person lives. You need to live with from bread. Bread means generally food. Umei sheves hanefesh returns the soul. The yeshedom is bashib the guf, to come back into the body. If you're fasting, you're very weak. So what do you need to do? You eat, and then you get the strength back. Because with the weakness and the lack of power that the person would have, the nefesh would leave the body. If you don't eat for a long period of time, that's it, you're done. Through the bread, it comes back to its strength. Okay, so therefore, what is the function of bread? Bread keeps the nefesh in the body. Therefore, what's the function of the Yidden giving Hashem parnasa? We do things to keep Hashem in the world. Just like food keeps the nefesh in the body. Aravayt hine kach hine kol ha'elemis. Nirka derech Moshe b'shem guf. All the worlds in Zayar, in Tikkun Zayar, is called body. Like it says, Kamat guf and tekinesli. In order for the neshama, which is the level of Sefer Kol Almin, the lav mi kol midas, there is no connection with world whatsoever. Aidei bechinas lech is through the level of araveda of bread, meaning that what is bread? Shebesarusa de lasata da'avoida down here, nase sarusa de la'ela becomes an awakening from above. Lias bechinas li'ishai eish yud, the level of eish yud. In other words, when a Jew does aved of Torah mitzvahs, they actually keep Hashem in the world. And that's why our aved is called bread. Bread keeps the neshama in the body. Our aved keeps Hashem in the world.
And he wants to be in the world.
Yeah, he wanted to dir v'tachtein. But he doesn't want to be in the world because he's in the world. He wants to be in the world because we bring him in the world. And he's in the world, we reveal him in the world. That's what it means, the good smell. Smell goes from lower to higher. And nichaychi, meaning the lashon l'shein nuchayz darga, bringing down heirada milmayla lamata. So he says, reach nichaychi, reach goes up, smoke, goes up. And nichaychi means nuchayz darga, coming down a level. So what's the Aveda of a carbon? Where our Aveda goes up and Elokus comes down. Gam lashon menucha. It also comes from the word menucha, like it says, it's all the same thing. Why? Because this descent of Elokus is bechinas yeridis eish shelamayla eish yud bechinas sefer kol almin. In the level of Rotz and Elyon Shalamayla Mi'achachma, a level of Elokus which is sefer kol almin, higher even than the level of Chachma. Because Chachma is the beginning of Ishtalsha B'Sara My Mashin V'Embratius Nami Maimon. So in other words, world begins in the level of Chachma. Right? Now, what does it mean? The Gemara says, Sha'amarti v'nasir etzeni. I told you to do it, and you did my will. So he's saying, but Ritzeni is a level of Chachma, higher than world, Sefer Kol Almin. Ratzin is Sefer Kol Almin. Chachma is Mamala Kol Almin. So this whole level of Karbanis, as Karban Ilachmi, we bring this bread, causes Li'ishai, Reach, the Aved is going up, Nichechi coming down. Yeah? And then it says, that's the level of Shanasa Ritzeni. What level of Elokus do we bring down? Not the level of Elokus that's in world, the level of Elokus which is higher than world.
Ritzoni, is that mitzvot? Ritzoni?
Ritzeni means my will, whatever that is.
Mitzvot was his will.
Yeah. So mitzvahs are higher than Torah. Torah is understanding that's Chachma. Mitzvahs are Makif.
So I think this one is really rare.
Right. But he's going to explain why this is. He's going to explain why this is more so by Korban than anything else. Because I'll tell you about the beginning of the Maimon. Every mitzvah is the will of Hashem. Why if there's Korbanos? Chochma comes from the level of ayin, which is Ratz and Elyon. Raiva the Chol Raiva the Ratz and Elyon Zu, V'nim Shechlamata B'chinas Asiya, V'naseh Ritzeni. Shamarti, V'na'aseh Ritzeni. Na'as is Asiya. Where does Ritzeni come down? Into Asiya. All the way down here. Okay, so he's saying, what's the whole Aved of Kabbanas? Aved of Mamata Lamaila, causing Mamaila Lamata. We feed Hashem, keeps the neshama in the body, comes down the level of Ratzin higher than the world, and it comes into the world.
Rabbi Shusterman, at the time that the Beit HaMikdash was going on fire, what was it happening to all this process? He wants to be the
It went up in smoke.
He wants to be here, he wants to be revealed, all of a sudden the fire and destruction. Hashem
You mean, why did he destroy the Beis Hamikdash?
Hashem checked out all of a sudden? He wants to
Yeah, he checked out.
What was it happening with all this process?
Let me ask you a different question. The Rebbe asks this famous question. Hashem is bound by Torah mitzvahs. He keeps Torah mitzvahs. Is there a din in the Torah, you're not allowed to destroy things? You're not allowed to destroy things, yes? How did Hashem destroy the Beis Hamikdash? The Rebbe asks the question in Sikha. Okay, the Eibishter is destroying a Beis Hamikdash. He's not allowed to destroy things. How could he do it?
To build back better.
So the answer is, when you knock down a building to build a bigger one, then it's not destruction, it's construction. Right? Therefore, it's by Shabbos. If you destroy with the intent of construction, then it's chayiv and Shabbos because it's called
Blood
construct.
flowing in every street, blood all over, so many people dead. This is what Hashem wanted.
Let me tell you something. If you tell somebody to do something for their benefit. Okay, you tell them once, they don't listen, 10, 2, a million times they don't listen. Yes? It's for their benefit and they still don't listen. So what do? Say, forget it. Right? You don't want to. Forget it. Hashem says to the Yidden, I'm giving you an opportunity to bring down the level of Sefer Kol Almin. Yeah? Infinite level of Elokus. I'm warning you. You do it. I'm warning you, do it. It's good for you. After a while, Hashem says, you know what, guys? Goodbye. You don't want? It's for your benefit. It's not for me. It's your benefit. What am I, crazy? I'm giving you all the opportunities. You still don't want to do it. Goodbye. So Hashem checked out. But even that,
Slaughters and all that, trouble, the transgression. You just let nature happen, right?
there has shit. 1 second.
Horrific things happen.
Are you telling me? If you read the Midrashim, you have no idea how bad it was.
Yeah.
Just taking the stories, you read the Midrashim, it was pretty bad. Okay? Who causes the punishment? Okay, remember we learned many times, in a proper form of education, if a kid doesn't put away their toys. So in education, a parent could say to the kid, okay, you're punished. You can't play with your toys. Who's punishing the kid? In the kid's mind, the parent is punishing me. The parent is a meanie. The proper chinuch is, and this is the reality of it, I'm not punishing you. You're doing it to yourself. It's not me. This cause and effect. You want to put away the toys? You are allowed, it's nothing to do with me. There's no me here. There's no parent here. You put away the toys, you are allowing yourself to play with it. You don't put away the toys, don't have any kindness to me. You're the one doing it, it's not me. So who's punishing the Yidden at the time of Churban Bayesheni? It's not Hashem punishing the Yidden. The Yidden are doing it to themselves. So you're asking how bad it was? Yeah, keep killing yourself, yeah, and you can say, yeah, it's pretty bad, look what I'm doing. Okay, no, so what do you want? You can't blame Hashem, we're the ones doing it to ourselves.
But a lot of tzaddikim died, a lot of righteous people.
Yeah,
Why righteous people?
because
Like Akiva, for example.
because the way Hashem works is all the Jews are one big body, everybody is responsible for one another, and therefore, the blame is in the heads. Hashem punishes. There's an expression, when you slap in the face. But it's the Jews, not anymore, don't do it. You'll end up in jail.
But it's
You tell me that
proportionately,
no, it's not. No, see, that's where we're wrong. Let me ask you a question. Somebody gives you your very existence. Your very, not stam, okay, he gives you something. Your entire being is from them. 1 second. And all they say is, listen, your whole existence, give me an hour a day. Yeah?
In silence.
Whatever, give me an hour a day. 1 second. Give me an hour a day. And you have the chutzpah to come along and say, give 5, I'm not giving you nothing. Okay, now who's atrocious? Who's atrocious? The guy that did, the person or the Eibishter?
Rabbi, it happens all the time to parents and their kids. It's even worse. But no parent would ever imagine harming their kid or standing idle when their kids being harmed.
But let's take it again. It's not the parent punishing the kid. The kid is doing it to themselves. We're not talking about babies.
There are people who are doing every other possible. They're stealing, cheating, and they live like a king. And there are tzaddikim who are in shul every day, praying, saying Tehillim every day, crying.
Age-old question.
The answer is, first of all, you don't know what type of life they have. It might outwardly look great. Well, but the point is more. There's this world and Olam Haba. Ultimate reward is Olam Haba. So tzaddikim get the reward in the world to come, which is permanent. For a little bit, every person on their level is not perfect. So the imperfection, they get it cleansed in this world. Olam Haba, they have a clean slate. And these guys burn there forever. You know what I mean? Well, how do we know how to look at, we can't judge things. We don't have the ability to judge.
They're living like a king.
Rabbi, the level of
Yeah, in this temporary world.
Rabbi, the level of calamity and misery is totally disproportionate.
And I'm telling you it's not.